What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I read through the usual cryptocurrency. I know, let me start that off. That's usually my catchphrase. Welcome back, everyone, to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I read through the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you informed on what's going on in that space. Now, what is going on? Bitcoin just had a little dip a moment ago. It's like we were rocking the 125, reaching all-time highs of 126, but what just happened here this last hour? We dipped $4,000. So yeah, I'm kind of shocked too. It's like, what's going on? Like, analysis point out that we still have institutional inflow going on, 1.21 billion. There's a regular catalyst going on, like the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve talks is going on. So still bullish news, but what went down? Let's see. Binance was talking about the price volatility as it dipped to 122,000 after hitting it. Let's see. I think some whales moved some Bitcoin around. Whales moved 12,000 Bitcoin to exchange amid distribution signal. So on-chain data in CryptoQuant reveals that whales have transferred 12,000 Bitcoin to centralized exchanges over the past week. This mirrors behavior seen back in November 2024. We saw a 12-year-old dormant wallet move 330 Bitcoin to a new address, further stoking market concerns. And an exchange rail ratio is at 0.5%, a level historically associated with distribution risks. So that's kind of what's going on for why this little dip just happened here, but that's okay. This video is all about savings because we have a lot of articles where it's just bullish momentum and then why you should be saving your Bitcoin. Gemini has their, I don't have it on me, it's back at the front desk, but Gemini has their Bitcoin crypto credit card that you can earn interest on everyday purchases. So why get cash back when you can get Bitcoin back? And they just showcased this chart showing that on average in the last year, because that's when the card came out, 277% on average have a Bitcoin savings now because of it. So if you've been using their card for the past year, you're at least 277% in the growth phase of it. So you guys got to just start saving it because Bitcoin's still just going to be going up. And so if you're not saving it or earning it with cash back, be buying it. Buy these dips that go on right here. Because if you're getting in right now, it's like prices is going to keep going up. And that's because Anthony Pompliano just said on CNBC that Bitcoin will never stop going up because they will never stop printing money. Bitcoin is becoming the hurdle rate right now. And let's hear what he has to say. Just a quick little second.
And then put these, Bitcoin is the very simple story. They are never going to stop printing money, so therefore Bitcoin will never stop going up. And if you simply think of Bitcoin as savings technology, all you have to do is go out, work hard at your job, make money, spend less than you make, and then put the extra savings into Bitcoin, and then allow Bitcoin to benefit from what we know is going to happen, which is they are never going to stop printing money. And I think that simplicity is actually very attractive to some cohort of investors. And I see investors saying, wait a second here, this quote unquote debasement trade means that I don't have to go do all that work. I can simply just go and buy something like Bitcoin. And I think that really maybe the story of finance of this decade is that Bitcoin is becoming the hurdle rate, right? Historically, we've looked at things like the S&P. If you go back to 2020, the S&P is up 100% since 2020. Price in Bitcoin is down 90%. All of the returns that people are talking about in traditional finance, most of them are negative because no one can beat Bitcoin. And so if you can't beat it, then we just say you got to buy it. And I think that's what a lot of investors are starting to do.
And that's true. You cannot beat this. They're printing money like no other, which is why Bitcoin's going up. If you look at, that was just the day chart I showed you, but if you look at the year chart, Bitcoin's been growing since last year because they've been printing so much money in this past year, whether it's inflation and interest rates going on, macroeconomic situation going across the world, with the Ukraine, Russia, China, many factors go in. But in the long run, Bitcoin just eats up fiat. The more money they print, the lower its value goes. And Bitcoin's price Bitcoin is still just Bitcoin. So when the price goes up, it's not anything really changing with Bitcoin at all. It's the dollar per value of it's going down. They're printing too much of it. So why save in the dollars when you should be saving in Bitcoin? Because again, they're going to be throwing so much more money into it soon because there's been talk about the Bitcoin reserve and everything. When's it going to happen? Well, Senator Cynthia Loomis says that it could be happening anytime soon. And a lot of these guys up in politics and in the government up above or whatever, I've been seeing all these news, they're calling the next 120 days. This was a couple weeks ago, in the next 120 days, big things are happening. So are we going to be starting to see the funding of a Bitcoin reserve? Well, let's hear what Senator Cynthia Loomis has to say. So let's see. Senator Cynthia Loomis confirmed that the U.S. government would begin funding a strategic Bitcoin reserve at any time. This comes as Bitcoin extends its rally, reaching new yearly highs. So Senator Loomis confirms progress toward the U.S. Bitcoin reserve. In an ex-post, Senator Loomis praised President Trump's role in advancing the initiative. She stated that the acquisition of funds for an SBR, or Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, can start any time now. This comes as the token hits new all-time highs, touching 126,000. Now, her remarks followed comments made by Bitwise investor Jeff Park during an interview on the Pump podcast. Now, Park argued that reallocating a portion of the government's gold profits into the token could strengthen America's balance sheet. And here's Jeff Park's post that the math isn't complicated. By the way, gold's about to hit $4,000 since we recorded, and if you're paying attention to how Bitcoin follows gold, it usually goes with it. So if gold's pumping, Bitcoin's usually will follow 8 weeks afterwards. But Park proposed using unrealized gains from U.S. gold holdings to acquire Bitcoin. This suggests that the long-term exposure could yield extraordinary returns. Now, the latest remarks follow a report from Donald Trump's Digital Asset Working Group. He called on U.S. regulators to streamline crypto rules and usher in the golden age of crypto. Now, the White House had confirmed that the administration is actively working on establishing both a BTC reserve and a crypto stockpile. Meanwhile, the U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent revealed that the government existing Bitcoin reserves are valued between $15 billion and $20 billion. So this is one of the most expensive state-controlled Bitcoin holdings globally. Now, the momentum is building for a federal and state-level reserve program. The federal push coincides with several states independently launching their own crypto initiatives. For instance, Texas has created its reserve after Governor Greg Abbott signed SB 21 into law. Under this framework, the state comptroller's office will directly purchase and hold the token on behalf of the state treasury. Now, Dennis Porter, CEO of the Satoshi Action Fund, hailed the development as a historic win, marking Texas as the third U.S. state to codify the coin accumulation into law. Now, back in June, Representative Tim Burkett recently introduced H.R. 3798, known as the Trump's SPR bill. To the House of Representatives, the bill seeks to formalize Executive Order 14233 into federal law. Now, the directive was proposed initially to form a strategic Bitcoin reserve, but once enacted, it would compel the U.S. to begin systematically acquiring and holding Bitcoin as part of its official strategic asset. Now, a number of countries are already benefiting from early adoption. El Salvador now owns Bitcoin worth almost $775 million. Compared to 2022, this was a 162% increase. Now, with over 6,200 tokens now in circulation, the Central American country has unrealized gains of about $482 million. Now, similarly, the UAE also emerged as a primary government-level holder of the coin, with an estimated 6,333 Bitcoin, valued at approximately $740 million. The country's rapid accumulation places it among the top 4 governments with Bitcoin holdings globally. So it's not like the U.S. is going to be first at acquiring a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Again, El Salvador was the first one to actually legalize it and make it an actual currency that they can use in their entire country. You see vendors out there still with we accept Bitcoin here, and they just have their phone on their app, they accept the payment, boom, done. So it's we're not going to be the first, but again, we've been seeing increased adoption going on. It's happening in the States, with Texas and all, and more states, there's still bills going on there, and there's still waiting to be voted on and progressed further in there. So we'll see what comes around first. If we're going to get some more localized state Bitcoin reserves, or if we're finally just going to get the entire United States reserve happening, because I think that time may be coming very, very soon. But yeah, so that's what Senator Loomis says about Bitcoin's reserve can happen anytime, and I'm waiting. I hope you guys are too. Now, what else do I have in the news? But first up, good morning, Stephen. Thank you for tuning in. Love having you here on the live show. Now, let's continue on with the savings news. Did you know, there's about talks going on about stimulus checks going on with the tariffs. I keep seeing these articles, but I never just dive into it to actually read what's going on. But let's talk about the old stimulus check we got back in 2021. Was there, or 2020? If you took that money and just put it into Bitcoin and held it for these 5 years, that would be up 1,700%. So that's right. So if you invested your stimulus money into Bitcoin and held it on without selling, you'd now be sitting on a sum worth $21,617. So that probably would help you a lot more than the $1,200 they gave you back then. I know I just blew mine on, what was it, insurance, caught up on my credit card back then. But this was like when I first started getting into crypto. So I think maybe half of that stimulus check went into Bitcoin. Sure, I probably used it, but of course, also my bags grew too with it. But no, I remember how I spent my money on that. Yeah, it was like credit card, car bill, and then maybe like half of it was Bitcoin. What did you guys spend on that stimulus if you got one? But yeah, so let's hear a little bit more about these gains people made, like if they actually just put it all into Bitcoin. So it's been over 5 years since the US government issued its first $1,200 COVID-19 stimulus check. And now for many Americans, the money was used for bills, groceries, or other necessities. Yep, pretty much. That's what I did. But if you invested those funds into Bitcoin and held on without selling, you now be sitting on a sum worth roughly $21,617 today, which is a staggering 1,701% gain. So yeah, guys, that's what I'm saying. Save Bitcoin. Like, have a separate savings account just for Bitcoin you know you're not going to touch. When you have money in your bank account, that's easy accessible to you. Like, I remember days like, I got a card, let's move some stuff over. It's easy. But if you're not so into Bitcoin, like really utilize it so much, just start saving it, because Bitcoin works better for you if you do not touch it at all. You just hold it, you still have full access to it. And if you just let it sit and grow, something like this could happen where it grows over time. But this figure is based on the initial handout provided under the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, which had you invested your $1,200 on April 15th, 2020, when Bitcoin was trading around $6,642. You would have acquired at least 0.18 Bitcoin, and that's something you really always want to shoot for, like either 0.01 Bitcoin, 0.1, or just one whole Bitcoin if you can, while you still can, because soon having one full Bitcoin will be impossibly hard to get. So there's still time for you to be able to get that position. Like, I know $120,000 still seems very, very high, but think of it 10 years from now. That could be $1 million, and you still think it's too high. So is that 120 too high? Probably not. So at least start aiming to try to go for one Bitcoin, whether it be 0.01 Bitcoin, which is about 1/100th of a Bitcoin. So instead of 1/10, which would be about like $12,000 right now, move that over. That's $1,200 to own 0.01 Bitcoin. So shoot for that. If you want 0.1 Bitcoin, even better, because that's going to put you well above people who still have none right now. But today, with Bitcoin's price surpassing $120,000, the same holdings has grown exponentially and will probably keep going higher. So again, here's Bitcoin Magazine. Fun fact, if you bought Bitcoin with your $1,400 stimulus check in 2020, you now be sitting on $21,162. I think it meant to say $1,200 stimmy check. But the story gets even more interesting. When factoring in subsequent stimulus payments, some Americans received 2 additional checks, a $600 one in January. I believe I got that one, but I did not receive the $1,400 one in March of 2021. Or did I get them both? I can't remember. But if someone had invested all 3 payments for a total of $3,200 near the days they arrived, their Bitcoin holdings today could easily surpass $50,000, depending on the timing and Bitcoin's price movement. So regardless of whether you bought, those who held through market volatility, including multiple price dips and spikes, have been handsomely rewarded. So yeah, guys. And now Bitcoin to $150,000. That is happening. Like, mark my words, it's going to take place. But the surge in Bitcoin's value over the past 5 years was a combination of institutional adoption, growing mainstream acceptance, and macroeconomic conditions that push investor interest into crypto and Bitcoin. It's now October, and a seasonal pattern suggests that early quarter strength may be particularly important for higher Bitcoin price action. Since 2015, October has delivered average gains of 21.8%, while November has added a 10.8%, according to Bitcoin Magazine's Pro Data. Now, similar patterns repeat this year. Bitcoin could clearly pass $150,000 before the end of the year. On top of that, Citigroup analysis reinforced a positive 12-month outlook for Bitcoin in a note to clients this week, setting a Bitcoin target of $181,000 while revising their year-end forecast to $132,000. Now, the bank cited robust inflows, which have estimated about $7.5 billion through the year's end, and growing demand from institutional investors. We are more positive on Bitcoin compared to Ether, as it captures an outside portion of increased flow into crypto markets, the Citi analysis wrote. So the institutions are seeing they're not getting into Ethereum. They will use that one too, but they notice that the robust inflows of Bitcoin going in, like you just cannot miss it anymore. So they agree that more institutional inflow is going to be happening. More of these like big guys like BlackRock, Grayscale, and their ETFs, they're going to keep buying and adding to theirs, and people are going to still throw money into that. And again, like we heard before, the strategic Bitcoin reserve is happening any day now. So we got the US side on that one, and then still not minus the US because Bitcoin's a global phenomenon. Like even the rest of the world for what's going on there, who's going to be starting their reserve, who's starting to stockpile Bitcoin there. So guys, like start saving your Bitcoin now, because again, if you started saving 5 years ago, just that stimulus check that was just money handed to you, you'd be sitting on a nice little bag right now. So that's what could have happened to your stimulus check if you saved it in Bitcoin. Now let's talk about how gold rally implies a $644,000 price tag for Bitcoin in equivalent value. So this article is talking about like in the next like Bitcoin halving event, which should be take place 2028, we could be like above the 500,000 Bitcoin price if we follow these charts, or if this happens, like if this study actually comes to fruition from Van Eck. But gold hitting a new all-time high of nearly $4,000 on Monday has analysts predicting an astronomical value for Bitcoin ahead of its next halving in 2024. So Bitcoin could be worth half as much as gold by its next halving, slated for 2028, and the recent rise in gold prices would price the cryptocurrency at $644,000 in equivalent value, an analysis said. Now, we've been saying Bitcoin should reach half of gold's market cap after the next halving, said Matthew Sigel, head of the digital asset research at Van Eck, and he said this in an X post on Monday. Now, gold futures hit a record high above $4,000 per ounce as traders rushed to the asset, which has long been seen as a safe haven. Now, Sigel said that its record price implies an equivalent value of $644,000 per Bitcoin. Now, crypto analysts have long compared Bitcoin and gold, but the latter has outperformed Bitcoin so far this year, rising 50% amid an increasing uncertainty over political developments, a weakening US dollar, and a sporadic US tariffs. Now, young investors prefer Bitcoin. So Sigil said that young investors turn to Bitcoin as store of value, the main use case for which traditional investors would typically turn to gold. Now, roughly half of gold's value reflects its use as a store of value rather than industrial or jewelry demand. And surveys show that younger consumers in emerging markets increasingly prefer Bitcoin for that role, he said. Now, here is Matthew Sigil's post on X. We've been saying Bitcoin should reach half of gold's market cap after the next halving. Roughly half of gold's value reflects its use as a store of value rather than the industrial or jewelry demand. And survey shows younger consumers in emerging markets increasingly prefer Bitcoin for that role. And I agree with them. I'm one of those younger generations. I prefer Bitcoin over gold, but once I get to a certain level, I do like diversifying. I still like gold and precious metals, silver, land, and all that stuff. But Bitcoin, yep, I definitely want to throw my money into there. But analyst Jordy Weiser also said in June that younger generations believe that the financial system has been worsening every single year, and their calls for increased public spending could also help to boost Bitcoin's price. Now, gold could go higher from here, so it's at like $4,000 touching that. It could still go higher. So meanwhile, veteran trader Peter Brandt said that gold could still have room to run despite hitting a peak high. Now, gold may go substantially higher before any meaningful correction, Brand wrote on X on Monday. So how much higher? No clue. We'll have to wait. But I am quite certain that all-in FOMO, or fear of missing out buyers at these levels, will need deep pockets in the future, he added. Now, Bitcoin hit a new all-time peak on Monday, reaching above $126,000 for the first time. And though the Bitcoin critic and prolific gold backer Peter Schiff said that despite Bitcoin's record peak, it's still about 15% below its record high in terms of gold. Oh, Peter Schiff, oh you. But Bitcoin would have to rise to about $148,000 to match its record high priced in gold value, he added. He said, I still think it's too early for Bitcoiners to get excited about the rally until Bitcoin can make a new high price in gold. It's just a bear market rally, he said. However, Joe Consorti, the head of growth at Bitcoin custodian Theia, said that Bitcoin's fair value floor has been lifted to $1.34 million with gold's rise right now. So Peter Schiff says, yeah, Bitcoin's got to reach 148,000 just to be on par with it. But it's going to get there. So that's gold's rally and why it implies like Bitcoin could go to 644,000. Again, it's all about the next generation out there. Like Bitcoin is generational wealth. It's going to help your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids, as long as you educate them on Bitcoin's actual value out there. But again, the younger generation is going to be more inclined to move to this. It's digital. They're used to the digital network. The old system, gold and everything, they don't really get that. It's just a rock to them or something. So, like, again, like it's just the evolution of this human nature and technology right now. Everyone's going to go to crypto, digital assets, and Bitcoin. And gold will still have its role here, but Bitcoin is following along with it. So, yeah, so I hope to see a $644,000 Bitcoin by 2028. How about you? So let's take a quick, let's take a quick commercial break, and then I'll be back with the other half of the articles I have for you, which is quite a bit. So we will be right back after these messages.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to Hodl. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.
I tried to get that vaping before that commercial ended. But we are back. So yes, guys, if you want to take a look at any of our programs we have at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, go to bitcoinben.io for more information about all of our programs, our clubs, and future ventures, or give us a call or text at 941-413-8080. So yeah. So let's continue on with the news. What else is going on? So I love how I go over like Twitter news articles or Twitter posts in the beginning, because sometimes that's a little like a foreshadowing of what the next day's news article is going to be. Because I wanted to really go into deeper on this Open Door CEO hinting at Bitcoin home purchases. And what do you know? Next day, Bitcoin Magazine delivered with an awesome article. So let's go through this and hear a little bit more about it. So Open Door CEO Kaz Nejatian hinted on social media that the company may soon allow home purchases using Bitcoin. So Open Door CEO Kaz Nejatian put out a social media hint that his company may soon allow the purchase of homes using Bitcoin or other crypto. Now, in a reply on X to a user asking whether Open Door would permit home buying with Bitcoin or crypto, Nejatian responded, "We will, just need to prioritize it." So that comment, though brief, sparked speculation that the housing company might actually add crypto payments into its platform. Now, Open Door Technologies is based in San Francisco and operates a digital home buying marketplace. The company makes cash offers on homes via an online process, acquires the properties and performs repairs or upgrades, and relists them for sale. Now, that model makes Bitcoin and integration potentially simpler. Rather than a seller needing to accept Bitcoin directly, Open Door could convert Bitcoin into fiat currency internally and run the transaction like any other. Now, there would be a tax and legal ramification required before such a move could take place, but still, Open Door is hardly alone in exploring a crypto real estate frontier. Now, is the real estate industry venturing in Bitcoin? Well, traditional firms are testing ways to integrate Bitcoin and other digital assets into property transactions in corporate treasuries. In July, Christie's International Real Estate unveiled a dedicated cryptocurrency division in California, facilitating property listing and transactions denominated in digital assets. Now, that arm included the $118 million the Finn Mansion in Bel Air, one of the most expensive homes ever listed to accept crypto. In a similar move, Grupo Marano, a $1 billion Mexican real estate firm, adopted a Bitcoin-centric strategy to optimize its finances and hedge against currency volatility. Now, CEO Elias Sakal said that the company planned to convert assets into Bitcoin through refinancing and sell leasebacks, expecting the cryptocurrency to outperform traditional real estate appreciation. Now, earlier this year, Byte Federal launched a pilot program in Florida allowing real estate buyers to use Bitcoin for property purchases, with sellers receiving settlements in the US dollars. Now, this service, now manual but soon to be automated, lets buyers pay deposits and closing costs in Bitcoin, which Byte Federal converts to USD for escrow or title companies. Now, at the same time, policy may be shifting. In 2025, the Federal Housing Financial Agency directed Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to consider borrowers' crypto holdings held in regulated exchanges as an asset when evaluating mortgage applications. So crypto and Bitcoin purchases for your homes, it's coming, guys. It's happening. And it's not just that, too. Like, what's going to make it easier? Once they actually tokenize and digitize every single one of these housing and property deed titles, it's like that's going to streamline things even much faster, because now it could just be controlled by a smart contract. You want to buy this house? There's a Bitcoin. Send the money there. Oh, you confirm the transaction. Boom. There's your deed to the house right there. So it's going to make things so much simpler, and everybody's ready for it. Like this post on Twitter from Robinhood CEO during a Bloomberg interview, real estate tokenization is a freight train right now. We figured out how to do it, and we're just waiting for the regulations. So trillions are coming in. So let's hear what he said right here. So here we go.
And I think real estate's a big opportunity. I think it's smart that they're aggressively pursuing that because everyone wants access to high quality real estate, particularly the mass market.
But isn't it true real estate is actually more complex? I mean, they tried this before. It hasn't really worked.
It has some similarities to a private company, actually. If you think about what a real estate investment looks like, you create a corporation. Using that corporation, you acquire some assets. It has some costs, which you want to minimize as much as possible. Maintenance. It has revenues like rent, receivables, or depending on how you use it. So if you can tokenize a private company, that same technology can actually be used to tokenize real estate, be it residential, commercial, and yeah, I think we figured out how to do it. It's just a question of regulation and what the right products are for different groups of customers.
So they pretty much figured it out. They believe so. It's all about the regulations and rules. And like, what did they say here in that last article? That they are working on it. Yeah, because like policy may be shifting. 2025, the Federal Housing Financial Agency director Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to consider borrowers and crypto holdings held in regulated exchanges and assets. So yeah, rules and regulations are coming. Like, it's just a matter of time. And once they do it, boom, trillions more money going into Bitcoin, and bam, Bitcoin's $500,000. So I'm just not financial advice. That's just a prediction I'm saying right there. But no, there's going to be so much inflows going in. And yeah, and like other than like, yeah, there's so many things you can do with housing and property. So other than using Bitcoin to purchase property, which is coming, we're going to be tokenizing property deeds and housing, kind of like how the California DMV did that with titles to vehicles on Avalanche. And then also like why, like they just say like we expect like more inflows like Bitcoin to outperform like the real estate market. So if you already have real estate, why not take some of that equity and put it into Bitcoin? Now, how do you do that? Well, we got a program for you called Home to Hodl. And again, that's where we can help you, get you in contact with the correct people. And yeah, we can get some equity and we can help you purchase the Bitcoin too. And even better, it's confidential Bitcoin if you purchase through us. So yeah, so many awesome programs we have here, but lots of changes happening around the world with real estate, crypto, just government regulations, like everything's going on. We're here at the Bitcoin Bank Crypto Club. We're trying to help give you tools that you can utilize to just grow your wealth in this growing industry. So yeah, so that's basically the digital and real estate side news for Bitcoin and crypto going on. What else is going on with Bitcoin? Let's talk about the Lightning Network. Today, we're going to be going over a class on the Lightning Network Explained. So if you're a Crypto Club member, check your emails. I sent out the Zoom link for that class, or you can watch it later on our website when I get it uploaded. But it looks like this crypto Lightning Network wallet launches a new feature called Time to Build. So Breeze launches Time to Build to boost Bitcoin Lightning development. Now, the time to build will pay developers to add Bitcoin Lightning Network features to existing open source apps, rewarding only code accepted by project maintainers. So, interesting. So, industry initiative Time to Build is paying developers to integrate the Breeze Bitcoin Lightning Network Software Development Kit, or the SDK, into existing open source projects aiming to drive lasting adoption rather than short-term experimentation. So according to a Tuesday announcement shared with Cointelegraph, the initiative is not a hackathon or developer bounty. Instead, it pays developers for contributing to existing open source projects and adding Bitcoin features to them. Now, only code accepted by project maintainers is rewarded, ensuring that Lightning Network features actually reach users. Now, a representative told Cointelegraph that the eligible open source project must have an FOSS free and open source license, an active community, and a real-world user base. Now, focus is on lasting adoption, not demos or short-lived hacks, the announcement said. Now, Breeze partners for Time to Build and include Lightning Network company Lightspark, the stablecoin behemoth Tether, and Bitcoin education company Plan B Network. Now, the prize pool was funded by Breeze and its partner companies, with Draper U and Pleb Lab also offering special residencies as additional prizes. Now, an open source Lightning Network SDK. So according to the official documentation, Breeze API provides developers with an end-to-end solution for integrating self-custody Lightning into their apps and services. So in other words, it allows for integrating the Lightning Network with less hassle for the developers without ceding control over assets to a third party. Now, a Breeze representative explained that the SDK is free and open source for any developer to use. It also allows for integration with third-party Lightning Network service provider Spark and by initiative partner Lightspark. Now, the Lightning Network is a Bitcoin scalability solution that proponents have promised will return Bitcoin to its original purpose as a means of payment. It enables instant and nearly free trustless transactions off-chain that can be settled on-chain at a later time. Now, recent analysis suggests that it is even technically solid enough to allow for Bitcoin to be sent as far as Mars. According to a 1ML data, the Lightning Network is currently comprised of nearly 1,600 nodes, which is an increase of 1.7% over the last 30 days, and 43,561 payment channels. Now, the network can process 3,869 Bitcoin of transactions, equivalent to over $480 million. Now, Bitcoin's Lightning Network has been gaining traction. So in recent times, Lightning Network has also shown some momentum in adoption by non-crypto actors. In late August, digital bank SoFi Technologies was reported to be moving to become the first U.S. bank to leverage the Bitcoin network and universal money address, allowing Americans, Mexicans, and others to send money through the Lightning Network. In late April, global grocery giant Spar rolled out the Lightning Network Bitcoin payments in a Swiss city. So still, more adoption is likely expected as the Lightning Network's features expand beyond just Bitcoin transactions. Now, in late January, the world's top stablecoin issuer Tether was reported to be bringing its USDT stablecoin onto the Lightning Network in July. Now, Graham Kierzak, founder and CEO of the Lightning payments provider Voltage, told Cointelegraph that the increased adoption of the Layer 2 network will see it handle 5% of the global stablecoin volume as early as 2028. So the Lightning Network's not just for Bitcoin, like even USDT will get on there. And then, that makes it even cheaper to use. Like if other countries I've seen in Africa, like some stores out there are already pricing stuff in USDT. So if you can utilize the Lightning Network for a super fast, super cheap transaction to utilize that stablecoin, perfect. So adoption for this is definitely going to increase over time. And the Breeze wallet, I want to do some more testing on. I want to take a look. So I even hear it's like a POS Lightning system too as well. So not proof of stake, point of sale system. But so I want to test it out because right now, here at the club, we mentioned to people about the Moon wallet, the MUUN, which is a Lightning wallet, easy to use. And because it's easy to use, because you don't have to really control opening up a channel for the Lightning Network, closing it, it all does it for you on the back end. So some Lightning wallets out there still may be too complicated for the average user to use because you had to lock away coins in the contract there too. But with the Moon wallet and Breeze wallet, and I think there's another one, Phoenix, it makes it using Litecoin or using I cannot talk right now. Breeze, Phoenix and Moon Wallet makes it easy for you to utilize a Bitcoin Lightning Network wallet, send transactions on the network, and it's, but that's what Breeze is launching right now with that time to build. So yeah, they're incentivizing people to build on it, utilize it, and it must follow the certain criteria that they provided in there. So that's what's happening with the Lightning Network. So like, it's still being in development. It's taking Bitcoin to the next level because again, Bitcoin is a slow. It can only handle so many transactions a second, like 10 minutes. Have you ever waited like 2 hours for a Bitcoin transaction? Yeah. So Lightning Network increases that time to be instantaneous and cheaper to do. So that's why Lightning Network was brought in, because now we bring Bitcoin back to being an actual currency in everyday payments. That's what Steak and Shake does is over at all their retail shops out there. They use the Lightning Network to accept their Bitcoin payments for their services for either a hamburger, fries, or a shake. So yeah, Lightning Network is definitely going to keep increasing and just getting better and better. So now, what else do I have for you? That's basically all the Bitcoin news I have. So there was a lot of BTC news. Keep saving it, guys, because think of it as a long-term hold. Like, change your mindset on it about trying to trade it, take profits on it, just buy it and hold it, because that's what will really, truly change your life. Now let's move on to across to Europe, Croatia. So yeah, I saw Croatia in this title for Croatia Football Federation official store app rewards fan loyalty with crypto. I'm a fan of Croatia because that is part of my DNA, at least 25% of it. Dad's side was Croatian and Italian. My mom's side was Peruvian. So yeah, so like whenever I see Croatian news, I have been there. My grandfather grew up in the island of Komiža. Got to stay on that island for 2 weeks. Got to see Split. Beautiful country. I would love to go back there. Great food, super healthy and organic, and delicious. True Italian food out there. But Croatia Football Federation. So yeah, if I see anything going on with Croatia and it's adopting crypto technology, yeah, going home. So let's go through this article to hear about this a little bit more. So the Croatian Football Federation has launched a new loyalty program that rewards fans with cryptocurrency through its official store app, making Croatia the first national football team to embrace blockchain rewards directly into its fan engagement system. So the HNS released a public statement on Tuesday in conjunction with blockchain company Kadena, which joined forces in February this year. Now, the multi-year collaboration extends through major global football tournaments, including the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the 2028 Euro Cup. Now, the new feature went live on Tuesday, just 2 days before Croatia's World Cup qualifier, now against the Czech Republic on October 9th and ahead of its next match versus Gibraltar on October 12th. Now, according to the Federation, the timing of the product's debut is meant to increase fan enthusiasm as Croatia pushes toward qualifications for the 2026 World Cup. Now, the HNS official store app rewards go live. So under the new system, fans who make purchases through the HNS official store app, such as jerseys, scarves, or other merchandise, will automatically receive 1% of their spendings back in Vitrini token. So this token, not Bitcoin, not Ethereum, you get Vitrini token. Now, the token issued on Kadena's blockchain network are redeemable for team merchandise and VIP experiences. So future redemption options such as match tickets are expected to be added later, according to the Federation. Now, each participating fan will also have a digital wallet connected to their app account, where they can earn, receive, and store rewards without handling the technical aspects that crypto requires at the time. Now, the Vitrini token was first introduced as an ERC20 asset on the Polygon network, but has since migrated to Kadena's blockchain via the Kinesis bridge. Kadena technology, known for its scalable proof-of-work architecture called Chainweb, boasts of providing high transaction throughput with minimal fees. Now, the blockchain platform supports both its proprietary smart contract language, Pact, and the Ethereum virtual machine. Now compatible, that is currently in testnet to make development accessible for mainstream applications. Now, the goal with a Vitrini token is to push the boundaries of traditional fan engagement and introduce a future-focused experience. Now, denoted Joel Woodman, Kadena's head of partnerships, said that we're working with our partners to integrate new technology into the Croatian Football Federation ecosystem, including AI tools, virtual experiences, and personalized activations. Now, Croatia's national team seeks fan engagement through its digital tokens. So during the Kadena partnership and the announcement, which was on February, HNS President Marijan Kustic said that the Federation is responding to how fan behavior is leaning toward cryptocurrencies. So the mission of HNS is to ensure that the development of Croatian football for the future align with trends not only in sports but also in society as a whole. Now, cryptocurrencies and artificial intelligence have become part of everyday life, so we are keeping pace with that development through our Vitrini project. Now, the HNS official store app is available for download on both the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. Once logged in, fans can browse official merchandise and automatically receive crypto rewards for their purchases without additional setup. Now, Kadina's system processes the blockchain transactions, so users do not need prior crypto experience to participate at all. So really, it's just like a website like you would do with Coinbase, Kraken, Party Ticket Stub. It's like you have an account, you log in, they're going to be in full control. So it's not going to be a self-custody crypto wallet where you're going to hold on the private keys or seed phrase, but you're just create an account, utilize it, and they'll manage the crypto and all that side on the back end. But I'm sure you'll be able to move those cryptos off, or like this said, use it for future purchases for fan experiences, maybe tickets, maybe a new jersey. So it's going to be very easy to handle for even non-crypto users for this fan experience. Now, according to stats from ESPN, Croatia is leading Group L of the UEFA World Cup qualifications, having won all 4 of their games against Montenegro, Faroe Islands, Czechia, and Gibraltar. Croatia is among a small but growing number of football organizations experimenting with blockchain-based fan programs. Several European clubs have released fan tokens in recent years, although the HNS is the first national team to integrate crypto rewards directly into its official commerce platform. Now, Paris Saint-Germain's fan token caught the interest of football fans during the 2024-2025 season, particularly after the club won a treble, including the UEFA Champions League trophy. So it's not the first time a coin was brought up to fan engagement, or to be a part of fan engagement, but this is pretty cool. So crypto adoption, again, is happening all over the world. The NHS agrees with it, saying we're just trying to keep up with pace. The narrative around the entire world right now is AI and crypto, and they just know that we got to be a part of this, otherwise we're going to fall behind. So this is why you're seeing like every single bank, institution, company out there get involved with crypto or start holding it right now. Because soon, once they have enough of it, then they'll roll it out to you saying, oh yeah, we'll start accepting payments. If they start accepting the payments now, they're just already adding to their bags. So adoption is happening all over the world. And yep, it's even happening to one of my home native countries that I didn't hail from, but it's in my DNA, Croatia. So very, very nice. Now, let's move into some altcoin news. Did you know that today that Binance coin flips XRP? So following its record-breaking price outlook right now. So yeah, I was taking a look at that on chain. I was like, did we? Well, for a second there was number 3's position above Tether, but it looks like it just moved down there because it is down $200 million compared to Tether's market, but it's still above XRP's price right now. So let's go over this article really fast. So the native token of Binance appears unstoppable lately, with its price surging by 50% on a monthly basis. Just recently, it reached a new all-time high of almost $1,300, while its market cap surged to $180 billion. So this means that BNB is now the 3rd largest cryptocurrency, surpassing Ripple's XRP, which has a capitalization of approximately $178 billion. Furthermore, the asset has exceeded the total market value of the world-renowned companies such as Boeing, Deutsche Telekom, and Sony. Now, one of the famous individuals who controls or is associated with the largest BNB holdings is Binance founder Changpeng Zhao, otherwise known as CZ. Now, the price pump of the coin has increased the fortune, and according to Forbes, he is now the 21st richest person on the planet with a net worth of almost $90 billion. It is important to note that Zhao claimed that the figure might not be completely accurate, saying that I don't believe this is accurate, it's way too high. I don't think it matters. What matters is how many people we can help and by how much. Make the world a little better than it was before I arrived. So Crypto X is full of individuals who celebrated BNB's historic peak, and some believe there is much more room for growth. Now, the one using the moniker Bitbull, for instance, envisioned an ascent to $2,000 during the cycle. Others, like Laxman, took a more cautious side. The analyst advised investors to take some profits and hinted that a potential rise at $5,000 is highly unlikely. So, yeah, so if you're thinking BNB will hit $5,000, that is very unlikely. $2,000? That's potential. That's probable. Now, let's see. that was basically it for the news article. Here are those tweets from the Laxman. BNB is trending. Book your profits, by the way. These are giving 5,000 talks. It's just a novice, so it's not going to do that. But also, BNB is forming a VCP on the weekly time frame. What is VCP? It's a volatility contraction pattern, which is a bullish trading theory where price contracts with higher lows and compressing highs. So weekly patterns are not ideal for short-term traders, but here's his analysis on that. So Binance has flipped XRP. It is holding that number 4 position right now. We'll see if it overtakes Tether again, and we'll see what goes on. So Binance flipped it. Nothing really big, nothing really going on. There's just a lot of momentum going on from the Aster token with its perpetual decentralized exchange trading to PancakeSwap's getting some surging momentum too. But lots of actions going on with Binance right now, so it just makes sense for it to flip XRP right now. Now, lastly in the news, I always got to cover some kind of scam going on, so you guys are aware of what they look like, so you do not fall for them. And it looks like there's an AI ransomware attacks that are surging right now as groups leverage automation to target victims out there. So let's hear about this to see if your crypto is secure. So 9 AI-powered ransomware groups emerged in 12 months using polymorphic malware as crypto scam losses hit $4.6 billion in 2024, with 87 AI-driven rings dismantled in Q1 of 2025. So we got to be safe out there, guys. So listen to what this article is saying so that way you know what it looks like and don't fall for it if it comes to you. So artificial intelligence has lowered the barriers to entry for cyber criminals, enabling ransomware groups to automate coding, generate polymorphic malware that alters its code, which with each infection and creating convincing social engineering lures, according to the blockchain intelligence firm TRM Labs. Now, 9 emerging groups identified in the past 12 months have leveraged AI to scale their operations rapidly, with some shifting away from encryption to rely on reputational damage, regulatory pressure, and data leaks for extortion. Now, global crypto scam losses have surged to $4.6 billion in 2024, with at least 87 AI-driven scam rings dismantled in the first quarter of 2025 alone. Now, according to Ari Redboard, global head of policy at TRM Labs, the line between financially motivated groups and state-linked actors is also becoming increasingly blurred, with state-sponsored actors collaborating with cyber criminals to pool resources. Most notably, TRM identified the APT lock as linked to the Russian state-sponsored group Fancy Bear, conducting destructive attacks that encrypt and delete data while defacing systems. Now, the group launders proceeds through long peel chains with dozens of uniform value deposits in non-custodial exchanges like Fixed Float before converting it over to Monero, the privacy token. Now, AI Lock was first identified in April 2025, deliberately market itself as an AI assistant and employs polymorphic malware for defense evasion. Now, the group threatens to report breaches to regulators and competitors while giving a 72-hour response deadline and a 5-day payment window. Now, AI Lock launders funds through peel chain patterns, directing the majority to the Wasabi mixer and then rerouting smaller portions through a fixed float. Now, here is the AI Lock victim funds. So the AI Lock goes in 2 transactions. There's one with the Wasabi, AI Lock gets split apart, 2 more, and eventually you have a Wasabi Lock AI. So it's depositing it over there. Now, emerging groups deploy tactics from encryption to pure extortion. So among other notable groups, Arcana Security gained prominence after breaching U.S. cable provider Wide Open West in March 2025, employing a 3-phase extortion strategy, combining ransom demands, data sales, and public leaks. Now, the group carries out attacks from phishing to credential theft and network lateral movement while doxing executives' personally identifiable information. So Arcana funnels all victim proceeds into a single non-custodial exchange, creating potentially recoverable cash-out patterns. And here is that victim payment. Went to Arkham Security, went to non-custodial exchange 1, Arkham City continues on, then it went to the exchange again. So notably as well, Dire Wolf conducts target double extortion attacks across manufacturing technology, healthcare, construction sectors, primarily targeting the United States and Thailand. So this is where these attacks have been targeting. So here in the States as well as Thailand are the main culprits or victims of this. But the group deploys custom go-long ransomware that disables security tools and deletes recovery files, directing victims to live dark web chat rooms for negotiations. Now, proceeds are also laundered through multiple deposits into non-custodial exchanges to avoid strict KYC procedures. Now, the similarly, frag exploits to VM vulnerability rated the CVSS 9.8 using compromised VPN credentials without multi-factor authentication to deploy ransomware with the .frag extension. So TRM assesses that frag may be associated with the Akira ransomware group, as both utilize shared wallets, clusters, and identical payment services. The group expanded from its first victim in February 2025 to claim 27 organizations by March, with 25 of these locations in the United States. On the other end, Kairos operated differently by focusing solely on data exfiltration without encrypting files, purchasing network access for initial access brokers. Now, Sophos founded that only half of the ransomware attacks now involve encryption, and the lowest level in 6 years. Now, TRM identified Kairos sharing cash-out address with SafePay, Inc., Lynx, and Quinn ransomware groups, suggesting that's shared affiliate networks. So as I'm reading this on, it feels like, okay, this isn't affecting actual everyday normal users like me and you, so that's a win here. So this is more for at least the businesses and institutions out there, or even the coders and developers probably downloading some false data, malware, just something they shouldn't be downloading. So luckily, that's some good news. So we don't have to worry about this for us, but it's still good to know. Does this know that these attacks go on in the space out there? But deepfake scams and malware campaigns drain millions from users. So former Binance founder Changpeng Zhao recently issued urgent warnings following sophisticated deepfake Zoom attacks targeting the crypto community. So this does attack us, though. So Japanese influencer Mai Fujimoto lost access to her MetaMask wallet after a 10-minute video call with an AI-generated impersonation of an acquaintance whose Telegram account had been compromised. Mehdi Farouk, a former Animico brand's investment partner, also lost years of savings when 6 wallets were drained after downloading fake Zoom software during a similar deepfake call. So you guys got to be careful for which Zoom account you're downloading. So if you already have Zoom, you're solid, you're set, you're safe. But if, say you're going to an interview out there, something in the crypto space out there, and they're having you download a Zoom link to theirs, and it's not the same as yours, that's a sign that it's a fake one. But yeah, so they're extorting some crypto information out of Zoom links. So be cautious on who you're Zooming with and their actual credentials with it. But here is CZ's warning against the unofficial software of crypto influencer falls victim to a deepfake Zoom hack out there. But crypto stealing malware is spreading through fake AI, gaming, and Web3 startups with convincing websites, social media profiles, GitHub repositories, and team pages. Darktrace has identified schemes involving fake blockchain games such as Eternal Decay and startups including Pollen's AI, Swax, and Bazoo. Now, the malware targets Windows and Mac OS users stealing wallet credentials using Realist and Atomic Stealer families with advanced evasion techniques, including stolen software, which signal certificates. Now, as part of the ongoing war against the growing threat, Spanish authorities recently dismantled a crypto investment scam that defrauded over 200 victims out of more than 19 million using AI-generated celebrity videos to promote fake high-volume returns. So that's something we got to pay attention to out there because we're always on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's just there's fake AI videos out there. So you really should be aware of them. If a celebrity's promoting a token, just don't do it. That's my honest opinion on that one. Most likely they're rug pull projects. They're going to be promoted. There'll be a little rise, but then it just dumps and you're left holding the bag of a useless coin. So yeah, so be careful out there with video game downloads, which we've seen on Steam Deck happening there where kids download a game. Roughly, it's on their family computer, which had crypto on it, and that had the malware to go into their wallets and drain it. So be careful with game downloads. Be careful with Zoom links from deep fake people out there. They're trying to do an interview with you, so be careful on those. And then also just Web3 startups have that risk as well. So lots of stuff to be forewarned about. But again, AI ransomware, AI hacks are just increasing the amount of scams that go on right now. But that just means we got to be 2 times ahead of it and just know what these look like so that way we don't fall for it. But guys, that is it for all the news I have for you. Bitcoin is still currently at $122,000 right now. So yeah, that's nice. Let's make it a little bump back up. Buy that dip, guys, if you haven't. We're currently in greed territory now, so people are greedy again. They're still buying. They're not fearful of the price going anywhere. So, yeah, Ethereum's at 4,500, coming close to all-time highs. BNB's, it just took over Tether, so it's number 3 again. XRP is currently sitting at 290, and Solana's 224. So guys, I hope everyone has an awesome Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. Go get some tacos, enjoy one for me. Also, today is our crypto classes going on at the Crypto Club. So if you're a club member, I will see you on today's class in 30 minutes. So I'm going to go get that set up. But everyone, have an awesome day. I will see you tomorrow again at noon with more crypto news. So take care, guys. Peace. Love.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to Hodl. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine, Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.